From family events to volunteer opportunities to community happenings, there is a lot going on in your community. Learn about all the possibilities and opportunities on this episode of Community Hotline.
Hi, and welcome to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel. We're here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham, Oregon. With me tonight, we have a full show here tonight, and starting out, we're going to talk with a gentleman who is representing two organizations. I have with me Sroel Brockman. Sroel, welcome. It's
Thank you,
nice to
Monica.
have you here.
Thank you.
You are here as a volunteer for AERO, which is the Alternative Education Resource Organization, and also you are an art teacher at Oregon Outreach.
That's correct.
Okay,
That's
so
correct.
you're wearing two hats tonight.
Yeah.
Tell me, Sroel, first of all, about AERO, about the Alternative Education Resource Organization. How did you get involved with that, and what's that all about?
Well, basically, I've been an alternative educator for a number of years, and I found this organization because they came to Portland last year to do a conference here, and it was really exciting. And the organization represents alternative educational views, all different kinds, and from Montessori to Waldorf to Reggio Emilia to open-ended democratic schools. And the conference is usually manned by volunteers and has incredible people, speakers, and workshops. So that was something that I felt very close to, and I became a volunteer.
So you've been in alternative education for quite some time, you said?
Yes.
Okay, because obviously the public school system doesn't always work for every child.
That's correct.
And even some of the private schools don't work for every child, and the alternative schools give an option.
Yes.
For some of those kids. What does AERO, what is their main focus? Are they just trying to bring different people together that are interested in alternative education? Is that kind of the mission of the organization?
The main focus is an educational one, and it's trying to help people come to understand, and sometimes it's preaching to the choir, but that's great because we all need to learn new material.
Sure.
And to bring people in who are have no idea what alternative education can be like. So in this instance, there are many, many workshops and many different points of view presented at the conferences. And it's all focused, a lot of it is focused on the conference. There also are classes that are offered online in order to help you start your own school.
Oh, wow.
So, and that's a very exciting option for many, many people. And these schools tend to be free schools or democratic schools, which mean students have a large say in the development of the curriculum, and they don't do testing.
Oh, really?
It's all usually project-based and initiated by the students. Teachers act as guides, facilitators, mentors.
But it meets all the guidelines for graduation.
Yes, it will. Well, in many instances it does. They don't follow state standards or federal standards, but the students very often can take the tests that are necessary in order to acquire their high school diplomas.
Okay, okay. Now, the conference itself, give me an example of maybe some of the workshops that someone might attend at the conference. What did you go to last?
Well, I went to a number that were about arts, using the arts and at-risk kids, and that's one of my focus areas in education. And so I didn't offer them, I just went to them, and that was really exciting. I'm just trying to think now about creativity, how to be a creative teacher and how to make your classroom structured so that students use their optimum creativity. So that's a very exciting possibility.
Who all would go to this besides a teacher? Obviously a teacher would have an interest in it, but who else should go to something like this?
Many, many students come
from
schools, and they come with their teachers and they come with their parents and other educators as well. Other educators that may be not teaching at the moment, administrators that want to find out other options.
I like the idea of the administrators going.
Yeah,
because, you know, sometimes people kind of are in a box and they forget to think there's other ways to do things.
Yeah,
So
these are very mind expanding.
yes, I imagine they are. There's a speaker that you were telling me about earlier that's going to be at this year's conference. Can you tell me just a little bit about him?
Yes, Sir Ken Robinson, who's a British educator, and he was knighted by the Queen of England, which is very nice.
Yes.
And he is going to be talking about creativity, how to not lose it and how to develop it, and how to find your passion, which are two of his books. One book that he had written was Out of Our Minds, and the other is The Element. Out of Our Minds is about finding your passion, finding creativity and developing that, and The Element is about finding your passion and how that can change everything in your life. Wow. And I agree 100%.
Yeah, I bet. So your life has been devoted to teaching art, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so you are an art teacher at Oregon Outreach. Tell me a little bit about Oregon Outreach.
Oregon Outreach is a nonprofit organization that runs a number of programs in association with local school districts. It has one program with Portland Public Schools, one program with Malala, and one program with David Douglas. Okay. I helped start a program, and what the intention is, the focus is to help students who don't do well in traditional schools, who have dropped out or been asked to leave for one reason or another, and want to come back and get their GED or their high school diploma.
Okay, so is it a school per se, or you say it's a program? I mean, do they take regular classes, like
Yes.
in regular programs? So when they're done with their program, they're able to take the GED test?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. And this is located in Northeast Portland.
McCoy Academy is in Northeast
okay.
Portland
Oh,
on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
But then there's one in...
There's one in Malala, and there's one on 135th Avenue Southeast. Okay. And that is where I started an art program called Art Saves Lives. I've always known and worked with at-risk kids and known that the arts are so necessary in promoting self-esteem and creating positive role models and just allowing students to focus and calm themselves. And it's a very therapeutic art program.
Well, and art is therapeutic. I mean, it's a way for kids to express their emotions, to express what's inside of them, or anybody to do that without, in a positive way.
Absolutely.
In a positive way. So tell me a little bit about your art program. You have, how many kids do you work with?
Out of 60 so students, I had 45 approximately. And 45 students, they get to choose the program.
So you mean there are 60 kids in the school, but 45 of them chose to take the art?
That's correct. Oh. Yeah, that's quite good.
Your reputation must be good.
Well, they started seeing how the other kids were coming back from the classroom, feeling calm, feeling focused, and it's just amazing. There was no art program there at the time, so when I came in and was able to get some private funding because the school district doesn't have any money for the art part of the program that they're funding, the students just gravitated towards it immediately and became very focused on it.
I think you brought some pictures of some of the artwork the kids did, so I think we should probably take a look at some of those.
That would be great.
The kids, they create this artwork. Do they get to decide which projects they're working on? For example?
Well, I will offer them projects, and they can then do that or do something else. It shouldn't be something, I want them to succeed, and I will help them in any way I can with their success. These are projects that I've been doing with kids for a long time. They're masks, they're paintings, they're structured assignments, and they need a sense of structure, but at the same time there's a tremendous amount of creativity involved, and once I give them the foundation, then they can go wherever they want with it. And so the whole focus was to have them have a sense of success, creative success, which they did, and they carried that success and that calm and that focus into their other classrooms. And what it did was immediately we saw a difference in the tone of the school.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that artwork is it's so colorful and so pretty. How about the kids themselves outside of just classroom? I mean, some of them probably come from home lives that maybe aren't real stable.
That's correct.
A lot of the at-risk kids have, a tough time at home, do you think this maybe can help them even in their home life, be able to have this outlet, this artistic outlet?
Well, it did for me,
Yeah.
and that's
Is that
why,
your background?
That's my background. I came from a broken home, and art was my escape as well as my salvation. And for many kids, they need something. It can be sports, it can be music, it can be any kind of creative activity, because studies have found that kids who are at risk tend to be very right hemispheric. In other words, they're right hemisphere, right brain dominant. And that is about intuition, that's about creativity, that's about passion, that's about creative aspects of their lives.
So play to that strength.
That's right, play to that strength,
Yeah.
and we see it every time.
And it does help them in other aspects of their schooling, doesn't it?
It creates a sense of discipline and a sense of order and a sense of focus that they carry over to other classes.
And maybe a feeling of success too when they create something beautiful that they can be proud of.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
So obviously Oregon Outreach is doesn't reach out to all kids. How is it supported? Is it through the public school system?
It's supported by the district. They sign a contract. The district pays a certain amount per student, I believe, and it's for a program that will have a lot of kids, as many as possible, graduate each year. But again, they couldn't find the funds for the art, so I had to set that up myself. And right now I'm in the process of trying to find additional funding for that. And I've we've set up an account with Indiegogo, which is an online funding source, which allows people to just contribute. And
so if somebody wanted to contribute toward the art program at Oregon Outreach,
they could do that.
Indiegogo.com?
Yes, it's Indiegogo.com, and they have to look under Therapeutic Arts Program for Alternative School Students.
Okay, and is that a tax write-off for?
It's tax deductible. It's a nonprofit, and
Great.
Absolutely.
Great. So people that are interested in supporting arts, and so many people realize that not having art in school is a shame. It's just a crying shame,
right?
Not to have it, because it does so much for the kids, which in turn just affects the rest of us.
That's right.
I want to just touch back one more time on AERO, that the conference that's coming up is going to be on August 5th,
It's going to be on
the 5th.
That's correct, and it's going to be held at the Red Lion Hotel on the river in Jantzen Beach.
Okay.
And if you're interested in registering, just go to educationrevolution.org.
Education Revolution, that's great. Anything else that you want to tell me, Cyril, about art in the schools or about AERO that you think that our viewers should know about?
Well, there is an organization, a volunteer-based organization called CAN, which is Creative Advocacy Network, and that organization is trying to raise funds to put art teachers back in every K through 5 school in the Portland area. That means all of the districts in the Portland area. And we're going to try to get that on the ballot so that people can vote on it. It will require families that have an income above a certain point to contribute, and those who can't don't have to, but it would be focused on getting arts education back in the elementary schools.
Well, you have my vote.
Thank you.
If people are interested in learning more about CAN, where might they find that information?
Well, I think it would be if they look under CAN.org, they could probably find it.
Great, great. Yeah. Thank you so much, Cyril, for being with me tonight.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. If any of you are interested in attending the conference, the AERO conference, be sure to check out the information is on our screen there. If you want more information about Oregon Outreach, you can go to their website also. And don't go away, we'll be right back with more of Community Hotline.